Hello, everybody, and welcome to FourWheelTech for May 25th, 2025, Season 2, Episode 21. I am Mayor Watt, and I run ohmTown.com, and I am a host, or the host, on all of the shows, and along with the co-host, the sentient AI from the future, who's not with me today, unfortunately. We go over 5 articles on each FourWheelTech. This is the 6th show that I've done today of the weekend shows. I got in a time machine, went back in time. I'm doing them on the 25th. So if you're watching that live, then count yourself as part of the simulation, and we've gone back in time, including you. Anyway, so we have 5 articles all set up. These are the titles that I give it. They actually have real titles on the other side. I always disclose all of this stuff. But anyway, Euro Dipstick, Can-Am Canyon, the RAV4 Hybrid, and PHEV can't dodge these doors, and the Nissan Micra EV, which I'm actually very curious about because I am interested in switching over to I want a series hybrid, not an EV. But anyway, we'll talk about it. See you on the other side of the yes. All right, so let's get into the 5 articles. This is the front page of ohmTown.com as it was on the 25th, or as it is today if you're also watching this from the 25th. But this is FourWheelTech. This is the front page of FourWheelTech. We're always coming up with a new logo for all of the old black and white ones, but we're not done yet. Obviously, we still have many to do. It hasn't really been priority, but what has been priority is getting a whole bunch of content. We're very interested in a whole bunch of sources. So if you know of one, then reach out, get in touch with us, send an email to mayor@ohmtown.com. That said, new cars don't all come with a dipstick anymore. Here's why. If you've gone under the hood of a lot of late model cars, you may have noticed something missing, the dipstick. So why do so many new cars lack them? Well, apparently you're not to be trusted with it. So Jordan A. Rodriguez over at jalopnik.com put the article together. It says, once dipsticks were the go-to method for checking oil levels and finding out if your oil has gone bad. But as odd as it may sound, many cars don't come with them. Some sources say it's because automakers don't trust us to use them. That was my prediction. So why make them? It's kind of along the lines of rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it, right? So maybe it's kind of conspiracy to keep drivers coming in for more oil changes, but in actuality, it's because of a lot of things are going digital. So now it says add oil max 1 liter. You may continue driving. It actually gives you a little countdown of just how screwed you are in terms of how much oil is in your car. So if it says you've run too low on oil and, you didn't check it because the dipstick was missing, now you know. So digital oil level measurement, customers can easily monitor the vehicle's oil level in their driver's display and receive timely alerts if oil level is outside normal limits, as long as you've got it, I suppose, and it doesn't just glitch. This proactive approach helps avert potential engine damage. It also removes a port from the vehicle, and you don't have to be relied on to do any of this maintenance stuff. But it says it may just be us, and I don't think it is. But technology doesn't fix everything. Sometimes one solution can undo all others. Using a dipstick was fast and easy. Some cars even had dipsticks for checking transmission fluid. Now, drivers are left to rely on a touchscreen to know if their car needs oil. And it sounds simple, but if the touchscreen isn't working or that sensor isn't working, you don't have any analog. So, yeah. Let's move on. The next article is over in FourWheelTech as well. Can-Am Canyon has tons of adventure flavor, but it's not the author's taste. Let's just jump right on over. Brad Brownell put the article together. It's over at jalopnik.com. So it's the Can-Am Canyon, which looks like a ruggedized version of the Can-Am. Can-Am built the adventure-focused Canyon as a way to make the ADV segment. What is that? What is ADV? I don't remember ADV. So-called ADV bikes. Adventure touring? Adventure bikes? I don't know. Anyway, let me hold on. I have to do this. I can't do this without. I have to know what this is. What is that? Hold on. The ADV segment refers to the adventure segment of motorcycles. Really? That's kind of no shit news. Anyway, Can-Am built the adventure-focused Canyon as a way to make the ADV segment a bit more accessible to a wider variety of riders. Say that real fast. Making the bike more comfortable for young riders, female riders, and people with more comfortable with the way that a car drives than a bike. If you ever ridden a dirt road path before and you find a BMW GS or a Harley Davidson Pan America intimidating, the Canyon is waiting for you to discover it. This unflappable machine is far more likely to stay upright in the dirt than any of the other two, well, anything with two wheels at least. Yeah, I would actually love this. I would like this. If it was entirely enclosed and protected me, then I would be good. But I don't like the being exposed like this. On a motorcycle, at least, you know, I don't know. This has more mass than a motorcycle, so maybe it'll protect me. I just need something to protect me. I just don't think that this would be nimble as a motorcycle to get out of the way of an idiot. Anyway, this unflappable machine is far more likely to stay upright. So what is the Canyon about anyway? The Canyon looks like a kind of machine a future civilization would use to explore the face of a far-off planet. The two lower trims, Canyon and Canyon XT, are only available in silver, while the top-of-the-line Red Rock model is only available in the metallic green shown here. Yeah, it looks kind of like it wants to be military, but shiny. A target military device. I don't know. It's easy to ride soft rotor 3-wheel thingy powered by the deep baritone of the standard 1.3 liter 3-cylinder Rotax 1330 Ace engine, making 115 horsepower. Power goes to a single rear drive through a semi-automatic 6-speed transmission. At 1,000 pounds without a rider, the Canyon isn't exactly the quickest or nimblest thing on the road, but it certainly isn't sitting around either. Yeah, I dig these things. I wish that it was enclosed, though. I know it sounds like the antithesis of what this thing is meant to be, but it wants to be enclosed. So, Canyon is significantly more stable and faster by a mile than any two-wheeled adventure bike when the pavement drops away and earth underneath is revealed, potentially even rivaling a good dirt bike without the fear of falling off or low siding a motorcycle. Dirt road and trail curves are taken at near car speeds, straining shoulders and thighs to hold fast against the centripetal forces acting on your torso. It wants to fling you away from it. Depending on how often you work out, the Canyon might have more grip on the road than you have on it. Unfortunately, in this case, I did not correlate speed with riding enjoyment. So the first few seconds in the saddle to the end of a couple 100-mile ride, I never felt fully comfortable aboard the Canyon. By dint of 2 front wheels, near car width adventure tires, and handlebar steering, the front end of the bike feels jumpy. Pardon me. I had to cough. My throat's getting dry. The Canyon loses some trail riding fun in favor of safety, as the contraption's stability control is equal parts aggressive and intrusive, but it being 3 wheels, you don't have adventure bike really in mind here. You really don't. I mean, it opens up the segment, but in a stable way, so you can't do the same canyon crawls that a 2-wheeled dirt bike would do. They say the biggest gripe is simply found in the difficult to modulate foot pedal braking, especially in riding boots. Getting finesse on the foot only braking feels slightly difficult. Yeah, when I've driven with no shoes on, I find it very, very uncomfortable. Like I've gained so much sensory perception of where the brake or the gas pedal is that it pulls me out of the moment. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm either pressing not hard enough or too much or whatever, nothing in between. But as soon as I wear boots or shoes, then suddenly everything is normal again. I think it just takes some getting used to. It says in street riding at 90% of my braking is done with the right hand actuated front brakes, but with all three brakes linked and activated by the right foot, it felt like they weren't slowing enough at partial engagement, then nearly locking up as I dipped my toe lower. That's how I experience it when I drive a car. I don't feel like I'm doing enough, but then all of a sudden I'm like locking up the tires. So it costs how much? $30,000 for the Canyon XT, $26,000 for the base model, and I don't know what they say for the. Well, this is the Canyon XT, I guess. Yeah. And you'll get skid plates, more comfortable pillion seat, self-leveling air preload, rear suspension, a full spate of aluminum cases, heated grips, a good part of the day riding the XT model, and they were perfectly serviceable on 100 miles of backcountry mountain road. So I dig it. I do like it when I see them on the road, but my aspiration is that this thing is at least has like a something covering my body that I can just push out of the way, like a windshield but bigger, and then a leg brace right here, something that can take a 15 mile per hour knock or more, but still gets out of the way like a door, but it's still open, to the road below. I had designed a motorcycle 30 years ago that I wanted to see made. It's never been made, of course. I am not an engineer, and even though I was headed in that direction. Let's keep going, though. The next article is over on FourWheelTech. Toyota debuts all new RAV4 with hybrid and PHEV powertrains only. An all new version of Toyota's best-selling RAV4 crossover debuted back on the 21st, between the 20th and the 21st. It's a weekend show, so we parse a week's worth of news. For Generation 6, Toyota North America is going all electrified with hybrid and plug-in hybrid powertrains on offer. And while the RAV4 isn't quite a software-defined vehicle as we understand the term, I don't know, it features an all-new software platform tying everything together. So there you have it. New software platform enables Toyota Safety Sense 4.0 and better infotainment. Jonathan M. Gitlin over at arstechnica.com put the article together. Front-wheel drive hybrid RAV4s feature 226 horsepower with all-wheel drive hybrid models, a slight increase to 236. The PHEV generates a combined 320 horsepower, and the Toyota says that it can go 50 miles on a single charge, which is just crap. So better efficiency is thanks in part to the adoption of more efficient silicon carbide inverters, although the battery has been increased in capacity. Certain trims like Woodland XSE even offer the ability to do DC fast charge of the PHEV, while Toyota says it takes 30 minutes to go from 10 to 80%. So you never get 100%, which is what the mileage rating is always based off of, right? I don't know. It says because not me, but the author of this, because they're predictable, the one that interests them the most is the GR Sport trim, only available as an all-wheel drive PHEV, and it has an interesting micro-suede interior, also available on the XSE, and tuned suspension, steering, etc. Curious to know the driving experience matches its looks. Yeah, it's kind of crossover-ish, but kind of meaty. Yeah, that's got that front end that a lot of people liken to Predator, the little mouth kind of thing. There's a little bit more over here at this article, but they basically say that Toyota Safety Sense is the newest version of the automaker's suite of ADAS software. The infotainment is said to be better than HMI and wireless Apple CarPlay, but not Pro, because, you're not buying an $80,000 car, apparently. You don't deserve it. And Android Auto are standard features. Should be, geez. Let's move on. The next article is over at FourWheelTech as well. Dodge adds more doors to the Charger Daytona EV for 2026. Again, an EV, but not Series EV. Dodge adds more doors. Brad Brunell over at Jalopnik.com put the article together. The new sedan can sprint from 0 to 60 in just 3.3 seconds, as quickly as the previous Dodge Acceleration King Challenger Hellcat Redeye, which The last time I saw the price on that, it was like $115,000. I don't know what this one is going to be priced at. All of this Yee America Go Fast is brought to you by a pair of 400-volt electric motors, one for each axle, pushing the full 670 ponies and 627 pound-feet of torque to the ground. Unlike in the past, Dodge isn't even saving the all-out acceleration for the coupe, as the sedan will get every ounce of speed that the coupe does. You'll also get access to all of the drive modes that the Charger Daytona coupe has, like the track, sport, drag, custom modes. So 4 doors, 4 more, instead of the big door. They've stubbed it, kind of little tiny thing there, it seems, and looks like they pushed it back a little bit. In order to make up for the lack of a base model, Dodge is making the Scat Pack's previously standard track package brakes and suspension optional to lower the price a bit. And if you pick the option, you'll get upgraded Brembo brakes. Probably a good idea for a big electric sedan with access to 670 horsepower. Massively wide 20-inch wheels, a gloss black rear spoiler. It's really low level, like we're tiny off the tailgate kind of thing. If you're absolutely stuck on getting a gasoline powered Charger, Dodge is preparing a less expensive and much slower Dodge Charger 6-pack model powered by the Hurricane twin turbo inline 6, making it either 420 horsepower, nice, in the base model, or 550 horsepower. No price yet? Doesn't look like? No. Sorry, folks. You don't get to know yet. Not yet. At least not through us yet, but we'll see. And let's move on to the last article. This last article is over at FourWheelTech as well. New Nissan Micra EV is a restyled Renault 5 with an adorable face, it says. The article is by Daniel Golson over at jalopnik.com. This is kind of a cool, sporty crossover. It looks like the front end of a Mini Cooper and the back end of like maybe not a RAV. What is that thing? I can't remember that other car. There's another car. It's not a Renault, though. Anyway, while previous Micras were all Nissan creations, this new one is a Renault 5 with different styling. The latest result of the Renault-Nissan alliance. Oh, Nissan. Yeah, it was a Nissan, but hold on. I'll find it. Hold on. Juke. Yeah, the back of it looks like a Juke. Just like a taller window, though. Yeah. So it says it's just so cute. They say it has the lights that are on the Mini Cooper now, but it's on the back end and it's on the hatchback and on the front clip. So the Micra was developed at Nissan's London-based European design studio, and though the glass roofline and overall shape make it the Renault base clear, every body panel is unique to the Nissan. Its expressive front end has slim rectangular headlights surrounded by a circular LED running lights, and the lights have a welcome animation that makes them appear to wink when the car is unlocked. The front bumper, the lights give the Micra a froggy face. I don't know if this thing will ever see daylight in the United States. Nissan barely changed the Renault 5's interior for the Micra, but that's all right, as it's already a very nice design. There's a lot of stuff, but that's okay. I like stuff. So modest powertrains, it says 121 horsepower with a 40 kilowatt hour, giving 193 miles of range on the European cycle, and the optional 148 horsepower motor paired with 52 kilowatt battery brings it up to 254 miles. Either way, the Micra will be quite light for an EV weighing 3,000 pounds at the lower end, or 3,360 pounds for the fancier models. Can accept up to 100 kilowatt of DC fast charging power, going from 15 to 80 in 30 minutes. Still, it's stupid. I won't be buying this. I am not buying an EV until it's a Series EV or a Series hybrid, where it has a gas engine that its designed efficiency is to be a generator of electricity that goes into a battery pack that powers motors. And that's where you get the efficiency, because right now you're going from a gasoline through a mechanical generator into a transmission and a drivetrain that loses its efficiency somewhere around, for every 8 input, you get 1 output, something like that. And it's just horrendous. But electricity is a lot more efficient. Instant on, instant off, things like that. You don't have to wait for torque. You don't have to wait for a turbo to spool up or anything. And it's less mechanically intensive. So I don't know why it's so damn expensive. Just make it series. Anyway, that's it. We are done. We're not going to be getting the Micra, but I would like it if it was a series hybrid and had fast swap hydrogen fuel cell tech. How about that? I know, it's a lot. So we're going to hop into this little Micra, and there's going to be 15 people piled into it like a clown car, and we're going to go back to the front page of FourWheelTech. But that's where I'm going to end the show, so I'll see y'all later, and be sure to like and subscribe, ring the bell, follow us here on Twitch and on YouTube and all of that stuff. Would love to have you hanging out with us in chat. And remember, there's commands that ohmTown is attached to. All you have to do is go over to the chat, and you'll see them, like !shows and !pod. Each show has its own command. Like this one is !FWT to pull today's articles out of ohmTown. But that's it. I gotta go. See you later. Bye bye.